Hi, Nicholas. Hi, Nicholas.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
Good to hear you because I can't see you. Why you don't want me to see you?
I'm just trying to figure out how to put that video on, but it's fine.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Yeah.
Hi, Ninjani.
Hi.
Good.
Yes.
I'm quite early, so let me give you some time.
Okay.
Denise, are we gonna run a YouTube live because I generally have a feeder noise on my side. Okay, great. Sure. How has everyone been? I will start with Dakalo, and then I will follow with Pindi, and then Nicholas, and then Norman. How is everyone? Let's start. Did I lose Dakoma, or she intentionally just exited? By the way, guys, I've had those incidents, so where people intentionally just exit when I ask questions. It's not a question of right or wrong. I'm just asking, how is everybody? Norman, let me start with you. Oh, let me start with Nicholas because he's already unmute. Nicholas.
I was about to just wait and listen to Norman, but it's fine. No, I'm doing great. Just a bit tired. I've been up and down since morning, but I'm looking forward for the training.
Perfect. Nicholas, what business are you in?
I'm in high pressure cleaning. That's industrial cleaning at the power stations and at the mines.
Oh, so we have an engineer today. Great.
Yes, ma'am.
So with your business, you will probably use equipments, right?
Yes.
And then do you keep the equipments or do you hire them?
We've got a few. We've got 4 HP machines, and if we need more, we just hire the others.
Okay. How is the business when the economy is not doing that great?
It's very slow. It's very slow.
Have you thought about diversifying?
Yes, I have.
And what are your thoughts?
I have. Sorry?
What are your thoughts?
At the moment, I'm still working on it because I'm in a plan of getting myself a vacuum truck. That's something that I believe always has work.
Okay.
So I'm just in that pipeline at the moment.
Okay, so are you gonna raise funds for it?
Yes.
Okay, please share your financial statements. Maybe I can assist by just analyzing them for you and see some gaps so that when you are presenting to any funder, that financial risk, you've already have some sort of a mitigation on how you're planning to deal with that. Because the challenge, Nicholas, with the type of business that you're in, you gotta need somehow to prove that you can actually generate money from that asset. So if I was you on your position, I will start looking for the work that does that vacuum trucking work so that I can start having leads and clientele so that when I then pitch that buying that truck already. So just go to the market, start marketing as though you own the truck. Can you do that for me, Nicholas?
Okay. With the finance at the moment, can I maybe do it a bit later? Yeah. But coming back to getting clients for the truck, I've already done some few jobs by hiring a truck and using it. And I think, when was it? 2 years back, I even got a contract where I had to hire the truck, but I wasn't in a position to buy it at that moment.
So
There's big potential.
So we're gonna fill more leads, more targeted client, more regular clients, right?
Yes.
Remember, a customer is not someone who buys once in a while, it's someone who buys from you all the time.
All the time, yes, that's correct.
Great. Perfect. So, hello Ntombi, hello Kasha, hello Funzo, Siyabonga. I see the normal people that normally attend. Oh my goodness, hello everyone. Okay, great. Thank you so much for that. I will go to Norman then. Thank you, Nicholas, for sharing. How has it been, Norman?
It's exciting. I must be honest, I'm so excited. Overwhelmed but excited. I've been having meetings today with 4 different people. The last one I spoke, I told you I'm working on a marketing strategy to increase my sales, because I need to migrate from, I will call it baby business, into medium size, because I want to go into the SEZ to become a national commercial entity. This is introducing your agro-processed stuff and so on. So for me, it's been overwhelming, because as I drive, I listen to the recordings, I listen to all of them. I mean, the systems that must be in place, I look at it, it's in my head, some of it because of corporate experience. But now when I look at it and I think to myself, you know what? It's been in my head for too long. I feel a sense of overwhelmed, because I was the employee of the month all the time, and I didn't realize that I needed to migrate. And now when the migration comes, it becomes such a big thing that I miss deadlines, because there are so many things. When I realize that there are aspects of the training that I didn't get, I go back to it and I listen to it over and over, so that it becomes part of my understanding. And for me, the important part of it is that it unlocks new value. It makes me see new things. I take it for granted that I've had experience in this industry, but remember, migrating from an employee to the employer, and then taking yourself back to the employee. Now I'm trying to migrate from the employee and fire myself and put people and systems into place. So all of this, and at the same time, also to keep business coming in so that we don't run out of business. I'm at that space now. I'm trying to read as much as I can, but I'm in a good space, because now what this training has done, it made me look and see exactly, analyze where I'm at. I'm in a space where I don't want to be, so I'm fighting to get out of the space. As clumsy as it may be now, I'm on the path of getting myself systems, getting myself procedures, so that every day when something happens, I record it, so then it becomes part of my procedures and systems, and it becomes deliberate, intentional, no longer fluke or by coincidence. So that's the space that I'm in. I'm developing new ideas. I've approached many people and I've made proposals to them to see that I can get off the road and come internally, so that I can qualify my facility for HACCP. I've been to HACCP training. Now I need to implement. So I'm in the industry of food catering. We do nuts, dried fruit. I do acha, I do biltong from scratch. But the scale is very low. Last week I spoke to you about a presentation. I've done the pitch pad. The difficulty is just to get the information onto the pad. It's daunting for me, but I'll send it to you. Still, I'll send it to you. And it's just, for me, I'm just happy. I'm happy that I'm here. I'm happy that I'm part of the program. And I'm happy for the learning. You know, I feel that it's been over so many years that I've really gotten new information, and I'm enjoying it, because now it's challenging me. It makes me see all of the bad decisions I've made, but it gives me the encouragement to say, you know what, as I've made mistakes, I will fix them. At least if I fix them with better knowledge and understanding, it will allow me to grow. And that growth is all I need, because I don't want to have a business that will die with me. The business should be intergenerational. I should teach my children. So that is why when you speak about putting things into procedures and policies, the value thereof is important, because you don't want to pass through, and the day you pass away, the business goes with you. That one, my grandfather was one of the wealthiest black men in Northwest during apartheid. When he died with the business. He died with the buses, he died with the farms, he died with everything. It can't happen. So for me, I've got a very personal story when it comes to business. It's in my veins. I work for other people because I needed the skill and the knowledge. Work for myself is my purpose. So I'm driven by this thing. I'm excited to be here. I'm grateful for the work. I'm grateful for all of the wonderful things that you guys are teaching us, because I think it's invaluable. It is helpful, and it shows me that, you know what, as much as I made mistakes, but the migration from employee to employer to director is where I'm at now. This is now, I'm intentionally focusing on that. I'm going and I'm looking for resources, and I'm bringing resources in. The one thing that I took from what you said, because when I spoke, I told you I'm struggling to attract talent, especially sales talent. And you mentioned that instead of telling somebody what you want, tell them this is what I'm offering. You tell me how it's going to be done. And you see, that part is when now I'm having good times now. I haven't employed them, they haven't brought me new customers, but I'm no longer having a useless conversation as if now, you know, it's like, I would rather tell you, this is what I'm looking for. What are you going to do to fulfill? If you're not the right person, I move right on.
And I promise you, Norman, you're gonna attract the right person when you have that attitude, because you want the person to be paid for the results they bring into your business.
That's it. That's it.
Oh,
you see, you're a miracle worker. Salute, salute.
Thank you, thank you. Everyone is saying hello. I saw sends from Tembisa also. Who's next? Just unmute yourself, guys. I'm just finding out how you guys are doing. We're 50% into the program. I just want to have a feel. Some of you were feeling a bit overwhelmed. I will schedule up days where I have a personal session by individual, especially for those that actually submitted on time. So Denise is going to make time for me to meet each and every one of you. I'm then gonna go to Tabiso Malega. How is it going, Tabiso? Okay, some people are not muting. Guys, just get ready to unmute yourself when I call your name. Or you can type. Hello, Ntombi. Hello. Anyone wanted to share? How has it been going? Are you finding going a little bit slow, or you want to push all the way in? What are you picking up? What are you using in your business? What is not user-friendly to you? What can we do to make a difference? Salome, Asha, Siabonga, Pindi, you can just unmute yourself. I'm not gonna call people, and I'm gonna give you 2 seconds to do that. Let's see.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ntombi. Yes. Someone else is precious. It's good to see you. We always see the picture. It's nice to see the real you. You're looking great.
Thank you.
Okay. I just want to say thank you so much. This program, we're halfway through, and I'm actually really getting the gist of the business. Now I'm learning more about the business, because now I've set my goals, my financial goals, I've set my strategies, and so they really actually work, because right now I at least managed to get one project. And that's quite an achievement for me, because it has been so dry and so quiet. And I'm looking forward now to the earning and keeping money, because it has been my weakness. So I'm very excited about this one. I don't want to miss it because I think this is where I really need to focus. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tombi. Thank you for the feedback. I think you one of the entrepreneurs also last week said the same thing and said, Precious, I finally get it. It's almost like something just clicked. And I said, no, it's not me. He said, it's definitely you, because I started looking in avenues that I would have not normally looked at. So thank you so much for that feedback. Anyone else who wants to come and tell Funzo, Siyabonga, anyone else, you can just unmute yourself. Okay. Hi, Salome, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. So far the course has been good. I've been able to apply what I've learned theoretically to what I never used to be doing. Like my problem has been like record keeping and keeping my financials. So thank you for this course. I've been able to relate to what were my challenges. So thank you so much. Though sometimes like it's not easy for me to attend some of the courses because of the network and
We've had load
data.
shedding, my girl. It has been everywhere, and yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, but so far the course has been open-minded, and so far I can pick up where my weaknesses were in terms of financials, because my challenges were on financials.
And Salome, that's the only way we measure whether the business is successful or not successful, by the financial report it produces. So when you are now knowing where you are, you can then decide, where do I improve, right? You can really
Yes.
work out, where exactly do I need to improve? And always remember, you are dealing with 4 things: income, expense, asset, and debt. That's it.
Yes.
Don't allow anyone to confuse you. Just for 4 of those things, okay?
Yes, thank you so much.
Great. I see Violet. I almost fainted when I saw that you are joining, but never mind. Asha, I will go to you, and Funzo. Guys, just unmute yourself. I'm just catching up. How are you doing? How things are? Okay, seems like everyone is fine. Kasha, go ahead.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, Lanjanin.
No, I'm okay. I'm a bit embarrassed because for me, this is the first time that I'm joining you guys. And when I hear that you are 50% into the program, yeah.
It's
But
never too late, my brother, I guess. That's all I can say. We record most of the things, so you haven't lost what you were not supposed to hear. Maybe you needed to attend this one first before the others. Remember, the law of universe is not about what pressures or anybody has designed the program to be. So maybe this is the one that you needed the most.
Super, thank you very much. I know I've learned previously with the previous program. I'm sure I'm gonna learn a lot here as well.
Perfect, okay. Kasha, are you an NEF client?
Yes.
Good. Okay, guys, I'm gonna start then, if there's no one else who would like to share how it has been going and what are the things that are sharing. So I'm just gonna share my screen. Denise and Mapote, please just make sure that the poll is ready. And also entrepreneurs, I will share the screen, and this workbook also will be shared with you. What I will also do, I will make sure that when the YouTube account is loaded, it will have a link of where to download the workbook that we're gonna work through today. So I really want you to kind of give yourself a minute just to breathe and just understand and know that you are always at the right place at the right time. Grab yourself a note and please not a paper, a notebook and a pen for you and everyone, just to get ready to have this discussion, because honestly, what I will be sharing with you, it's a discussion. Is what I have figured out what works, but it's also what I've been learning, and I'm still a student of business till today. So as I'm learning the stuff, I will share with you, as I'm attending other people's courses too, learning more few things that I will share with you, with an aim that when I share my experience, both the gains and the losses, you will learn from me so that you don't repeat the same mistake. So I do not want to position myself as the subject expert in earning the money. I will position it according to my personality, what I've experienced. And I want you to understand there's no wrong and right answers in any situation. It's really about the environment. It's really about your personality. It's really about what do you stand for. And you will attract exactly what you believe, what you think, and what you feel. So therefore, some of the strategies that I'm going to share with you may not work, not because they don't work for you, but because maybe your personality or maybe that industry has a attraction of a certain personality in your area. And I will share those experiences also with you. So I will just let me know when you're able to see the document that I'm sharing, okay? Give me a second. I'm still just trying to open the document. Give me a second. Hey, the document is got nothing. Let me try again. Oh, there we go. It's gonna get on view. Okay. Oh, trying to go in quite fast. I'm gonna work on it like this. Give me a second, we're almost there. Maybe I should have actually saved it as a PDF this so that it's quicker and easier to move. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna cover on how to end. Just to give you a little bit of a bit of background, the main aim of the program was to enable you to be able to improve on how you see and understand finances, but also integrate finances into your operations and your business so that you can see how the business operation, both efficiencies and inefficiencies within the business, is driving the financial performance. While this program is an extract of some of the modules within Finance Success, it also have been integrated with the strategy. That is why this program is called GrowthStrat, because we have somehow linked what you do in the finance as a function, but into how it fits into your whole operation. What you do need to understand though, in this section, when we are talking about earning the money, we really want you to understand that the results that you're driving in your business, which is having good return on investment, having big balance sheet, and all those good things that we strive for in business as entrepreneurs, is really driven by a strategy. Is really driven by you deciding on what will be the right path and why are you choosing that path. On strategy, what we are saying is that when you choose a path and you say, here are the opportunities, you have to understand those opportunities are also going to come with weaknesses. They're also going to come with threats. They're also going to come with areas where you really have to somehow almost like really look at it and say, okay, is that the best opportunity? Is that the best option for me? And there is no one who will say that's a bad strategy, that's a good strategy, because it really depends on the resources you have, on your skills in developing those strategies. And that is why sometimes I will work with entrepreneurs and I will tell them what I see that they can do in their business. But I've also realized I have to allow them to move themselves from where they are to the next level, because you can only advise. Whereas when the strategy has come and developed within the person, and you just come in just to plug in some, almost like you are putting a plug into an electricity, it just works, you know. You just plug it in, then it will work. But when you force your way through, what I found over the years, it really doesn't work. So you gotta need to understand that building up your understanding of the industry is actually the cornerstone of you earning more money. Because when you do not understand how your industry works, you will also really struggle on how the economy works and the impact that economy has onto the industry. And as entrepreneurs, sometimes also what I have found, we really almost like ignore what is happening in the economy. I had a client that was in another program. She kept on saying, Precious, I'm in construction, and my business, there's no business, there's nothing happening there. But then I say to him, but yes, you're in construction. Right now, there is no funding, there is no investment. Infrastructure development is happening in specific areas. And if you are not in those specific areas and you are not pushing yourself to find more work in those areas, what's the point? So it's someone not understanding what is happening in their industry. The fact that we have group 5, we have quite, actually, I can make a list. I think even Robbins was filing for business rescue, and it's just, there's a whole list of construction companies, medium-sized and even big businesses, listed businesses that are actually closing down, that are reducing their operations, and that are actually reducing their operations because there's just not enough orders to justify having the overheads that you have. So I also have come across entrepreneurs that will say, Precious, I'm running my business and I'm paying salaries every month, but the income that I'm generating is happening ad hoc, but the overheads I have to pay all the time. When I started analyzing her expenditures, matching them with the income, it was clear that she had, the reason why her business was struggling with finances is because her overhead were not matching with the revenue. So there's certain principles that we miss as entrepreneurs, that those principles to me were taught as an accountant, but it's the same principle we need to apply everywhere in our lives. Because I think one thing that I've learned with accounting and finance is that what happens out there also is going to happen in your books. If you are disorganized in your life, you will also be disorganized in your books. If you don't know how to place things in the right order, you actually are not someone who's firm on things that matters to you. You will also be someone who can be corruptible. You will also be a person who doesn't stand for what they believe in. So it really, finance, what I need you to understand is an outcome. It's the result of who you are and what you stand for. I have gone through 2 businesses where it looks on the outside, the business look amazing until I go in and analyze. And then I find like a can of worms in a business. And another business was actually even, I think it was an award by one of the big brands to actually be taken nationally. And there's someone who wanted to value the business, and then so that they can sell a portion of the shares. But the more I go to the books, oh guys, a can of worms. So when I mean a can of worms is they have a recording, the income came in, but the income has not tracked the traces on where that income is recorded. They have customers that they don't have a master file of recording. Who do we contact when there's money, when we invoice? How do we manage? Almost like just a mess, guys. What I'm saying is that you gotta need to really maybe sit back, understand what are your personal weaknesses and your strength, and really focus on your strength. When I was on Twitter today, I shared this with everyone that I hope entrepreneurs are really gonna learn from South African politicians or South African politics. I think the opposition parties for a very long time in South Africa, I think since day one of our inception of democracy, the opposition parties wanted to have a seat on the table so that they can drive certain decisions that they felt that in the best interest of the country, but they couldn't. ANC was too strong. ANC had been there for years, and people were quite loyal to the ANC. However, what the South African politicians, minority political parties have managed to do is to actually use their strength in combining themselves and then still oppose, because the aim was the ANC has to be stopped. And I remember thinking about this some time ago and thinking, it's so at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter who you voted for, because we all want our children's life to be secured. We all want our children to have an education that is affordable. We all want to be safe. What happened with the things that has recently happened in KZN and also in Gauteng, it's just appalling. It's one thing for the state to fail to protect private citizens. It fails even to protect business assets. And that is why we will never be attractive as an investment in this country until those issues are fundamentally fixed. And looking at where we are, I mean, my family is from Ashdown at Edendale, where this riot, and I promise you, one of the biggest mall within Edendale is called Edendale Mall. It's still closed right now. My cousin was actually working. She didn't work for more than 2 months until she got a job somewhere. I can imagine the families that now do not have jobs because that mall was quite busy and big. And for years, we really have to look at ourselves as individuals and have an understanding that when we do not hold ourselves with our own actions accountable, we will also not hold the politicians, our families, and everything around us accountable. But it's gonna start with ourselves. And then having an understanding of how then that will drive a certain type of economy and how will that impact the industries. Now, I think the other part that we saw as areas that most entrepreneurs are struggling with is then setting up the finance function. I mean, you find that a business might actually even be generating revenue close to 20 million, maybe even 15, even 5 million. But they have decided to outsource accounting. I think it's also just understanding that there's a difference between accounting and finance, and there's a difference between corporate finance and financial management, and there's a difference between accounting and bookkeeping. And when you do not have that understanding that it's not the same thing, to you it looks like it's the same thing, you are screwed, because you're not going to make the right decisions. You're not going to know Who do I need to appoint? When do I need to appoint? And why do I need to appoint that person? And then be able to hold that specific person accountable. So it's really also sometimes as entrepreneurs, we take advice from people out of context. You have a content that you need to appoint a service provider or outsource accounting, but that is being recommended out of context of your business. What are the things that needs to happen before you invoice? What are the things that will happen after you have invoiced, and where you gotta need to be in control of that? No, but you can't tell me when you're running a business that is more than what, 2-3 million, and you say, I'm gonna get my accountant to give you management accounts. Then you're not serious about your business. So the other part that was very clear was that we as entrepreneurs, we're really struggling with cost and pricing. And I mean, the fundamental of starting a business is to make money. When you don't know how to cost and price your product, how the heck are you gonna know how much profit are you gonna make? How did you even get to that decision to even start that business when you don't know how much is it gonna cost? How much am I gonna sell it for? And most entrepreneurs are struggling with this one. Whether it's a startup or a growing business, I find people really unable to get this right. The last one is really not ignoring all the principles of business when it comes to, or principles of finance when it comes to issues like budget, which is about planning, projecting, and forecast. Not understanding the difference on those. And those are the areas that this about earning is about. Yes, we will talk very strongly about the earnability, how do you build that up, but those 4 areas within these components are the most important. There are videos that have already been created in each of those. I will cover the best way we're going to do it. And then you need to make sure that you prepare, you go through the stuff and make sure you work out your action and share the actions with me, and also share the problem so that I have both the context and the content then to be able to advise you properly. And maybe also, as I have spoken for more than 20 minutes on this, please share your experiences on these 4 areas. What are your biggest challenge? Then I can also make sure that when I'm covering the individual component within that, I can cover your concern. I don't see anything on the chart. Okay, Tembisa was saying, I'm hard on studying material and drafting what I've learned through my business model. Okay, she's waiting for a summit. Wonderful. The struggle is really looking forward. I'm enjoying 2 visits. Okay, thank you, Tembisa. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, guys, please share your experiences on those. Maybe I can also allow 1 or 2 people to share their experiences. Maybe raise your hand. Denise and Mapoto will guide me. Entrepreneurs, please share which areas in your business that you are struggling in these 4 areas, and explain it. Thank you. Yeah, but no, man, go ahead, my brother.
What I've realized is because I come from big commercial entities that were well funded. Coming to bootstrap a business from 2014, you've used all your resources and your credit name is not good, but I need to migrate from the Excel spreadsheet to do invoicing and so on to an accounting software that will allow me the benefit of looking and seeing where is my wastage, where is potential loss through theft or improper use, and so on, because I take seriously the point of migration. I see that unless I migrate, my business will just die. And I've got this cost problem. I don't know, is it a problem or just my imagination? Because the expenses are quite high. There are vehicle expenses, etc., etc., and my income is not making it for me. So that is why I'm on the drive of recruiting new talent in terms of my sales in particular, so that I can come into the business personally to make sure that I deal with the production elements, make sure the business is properly functional in terms of the requirements for operating, etc., and to maintain ISO standards. I've been for the HACCP training. I'm just concluding. So hopefully in this year still or next year early, they will come in to start assessing the working premises. So then once the working premises is certified with HACCP, because I deal with the food industry, I deal with nuts and dried fruit. So my process as I'm developing it now, and when I also spoke with Denise, is to say, I've joined the training a bit late and I became a bit overwhelmed. But now that I'm focusing on it, my reading, I'm catching up on, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a book that I've had for some time. I've got other thinking mastermind books that I go through, because I believe a person should prepare yourself. You must be ready for the task at hand. What my biggest challenge then is to get the resources that will enable the formalization, your accounting software at a reasonable price so that it is affordable. It takes your invoicing, then it will show you how much stock on hand you've got. So if you've got losses, you can account for everything throughout your process and see where you are either you're costing, because we are in an industry where your profit margins are tight. You've got old established businesses that you trade against. So you need to also make sure you don't overprice to price yourself out of business, but also not to underprice to sell yourself short again and lose business again. So it's a very difficult thing. And because I lack capacity and most of the things still lean on me up until the point where the right staff members will come and the affordability to pay them will be there. How do I navigate this point so that I do not have an over-reliance on systems that I cannot audit? I cannot, if I've got drop systems in my, if I've got drop numbers in my Excel spreadsheet, I can't account for that.
Okay. Norman, let me try to answer some of it, but not everything. I think the best thing that you're gonna need to do, Norman, you're gonna give yourself a 30 days challenge. So how do you do a 30-day challenge? Starting from today, you're gonna use today as maybe your day one. In your day one, you're gonna, of this 30-day challenge, I will share the template that you guys gonna use. Your day one, for you, Norman, you record how much income did you actually make and how much expenses that you actually incurred. I need you to be very careful, Norman. When you are recording the expenditures, be very descriptive. So today you were traveling. What I will record I will record the exact kilometers that I will have traveled. If you spend the money paying maybe a toll or maybe paying for whatever, you will then just put that in for today. And day one up to day number 8 in the next 30 days. I need you, when you have done that, to sit with me and we analyze that. What you have to understand, guys, you run a business and make decisions in your business. And when you're making those decisions, is really driven by a lot of emotion, is also driven by a lot of thinking I need it or thinking I want it. Some of it is more of a comfort, is more of things that you are used to. I need you, when we analyze this, be open to let go. To let go. It's about letting go of things that are not making you money. So when we do this, we will also match. We will match the income versus the expenses, income versus the expenditure. And that exercise will assist you, Norman, to be able to cut. Where are you cutting? You'll know where you're cutting. It will be very easy to know where you're cutting and why are you cutting. Okay, so that is what I can help with now. As for the accounting software, we did get the funding. So we are gonna launch a new software. We have already bought it. We just need to negotiate and talk to them about the coding and find our own coders also to do the testing of the programming so that we can see how we're gonna start and enroll. We're gonna pilot it from preferable from the 1st of December, only with you guys for now. And then from 1st of March, we launch it nationwide. It will be cloud-based. So we really just need to work out now the nitty-gritties with the people that you are buying the software from. Okay, good.
Just a question about the software. Just a question about the software.
I can't answer any question about the software for now because I still need, there's too many gaps on my side that I need to fill up. I will definitely, we will even have a session about the software when it's getting launched. So don't leave the group yet, okay?
No, I'm here until the group is finished. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. There's too many valuable things here. Thank you.
Thank you. Kasha, your hands is up, Baba. Go ahead.
Yes, Sis Precious, for me, the biggest challenge is not knowing how to set up the finance function. Look, the first one, not understanding the impact, how economy and I mean on the industry. I'm also in the construction industry. I used to work for those big four, but I think I've got a bit of an idea there. It looks like they are moving more from the big guys are struggling. However, the medium size and smaller guys seems to be the ones that are picking up at the moment. So I still need to have that refined a bit, but I think the biggest challenge for me is the finance function, setting up that.
Okay, thank you so much, Pasha. I will definitely be covering that. We have a full video on it, but I will also cover some of the key concepts within that. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. I will then move. Okay, so we are teaching, it's called the blended learning approach. The aim of this blended learning approach is that you have to follow us on social media. Denise, please share that so that you will have something which we called draping, learning and draping, and which means the content and what we share should also remind you of the few concepts. We also want to make sure that we run this program in a way that it allows you also to reflect. That is why there's a lot of writing. And we will do face-to-face one day soon and meet all of you. And it will be amazing to meet you, you guys. So yeah, I look forward to that. So please follow us on social media platforms. Denise is gonna share that also so that when we are updating, because we are, I think we recently got 2 new appointments, NEF, and also I think there's TUT project again. I think there's another project that we got appointed for, so which will then force us to continue doing what we do. Anyway, yeah, so just do that. Generally, I don't like introducing myself. I was actually gonna ask Denise to do that because it feels awkward to introduce yourself. So if you wanna know more about me, just Denise, just have a link on my private website, but that is my CV. I will share that with you guys, please. And Denise, maybe share the one that is more updated. I think we're now on 4,000 entrepreneurs or leaders and stuff. So yeah, yeah. Okay, I think I will stop there. Yeah, and just update that page, Denise, and then yeah. Okay, so I just wanna talk about, Solomon was saying that one of the areas she struggled with is about earning the money. That sometimes as we're building our businesses, we generally think for whatever that we are doing, there is a limited revenue stream, whereas there is an unlimited revenue stream. And why do I say there is unlimited revenue streams is because generating ideas, guys, is free. All it needs is having a disciplined mind. What is a disciplined mind? It's just making time to think. If you can take your problems every day when you wake up in the morning, or even the evening, whichever you feel, you just take per day, just take really 30 minutes, sitting nice and quiet in an environment where you will not be distracted or be disturbed. Put that in a problem, in a notebook, in your journal, and just think about the solutions of that problem. And if you are struggling with it, don't stress on day one. Just put whatever comes through. Do the same thing on the same problem the following day. The whole day, don't think about all the crap that is going on around you. Just keep on thinking about, how can I solve this problem? How can I solve this problem? And then go in again on day number 2, and you start populating more ideas on the same problem. And then on the 3rd day, you do the same thing. If you have a coach or a mentor or someone, choose the top 5 areas of solutions that you think are the best for them to assist you to eliminate or to reprioritize them, which ones they think will work the best. And guys, that is a disciplined mind. Just 30 minutes. The problems that you face in your life or in your business are not difficult problems to solve, but these problems, they get bigger and overwhelming because you are smaller than the problem. What you have to understand, you have to grow yourself out of the problem, which then also means you also need to understand, as you're growing yourself outside of that problem, you're gonna need to learn. You're also gonna need to apply your learning. And that is when you are thinking. Guys, even thinking is a learning, because learning, guys, is not Precious telling you what to do or what to say or how to do it. Learning is asking your subconscious what is the right answer, is asking God that is within you to provide you with the solution, is asking your ancestors, whoever that you see that knows it all. And I believe all of us have that, where you're asking for the questions, you're asking for the answers. And you began to be still when there's challenges, when you have a system that you have created on how you solve your problems. I think we as human beings, when we get born and come to this earth, this universe, we don't get given a book on how to live a life, how to make it. You gotta need to learn. It's almost like you get thrown into the sea and then they say swim. Like, what? So what I'm sharing with you, what I have learned is that everything in the whole of the universe has a system. Maybe the 3-day system may not work for you. Maybe you need 5 days. Maybe you need every 2 hours. I don't know, but you gotta need to figure out a system on how you solve the problems, so that the problems don't end up swallowing you. The problems don't end up putting you on depression. The problems don't end up being the center of your life, where whatever you touch, there's a problem. Whatever you touch, things are not pulling through, whatever that happens. And then you end up feeling not so optimistic, and you end up feeling disheartened, no hope. You really gotta need to understand that you gotta need to create a system in solving your own problems. And one of the characteristics of entrepreneurship is self-reliance, is building that self-reliance. And when you don't know, you know where to go to find the right information. When you know how to find, you have places where you double check yourself. You get to be accountable. Because again, when you're not accountable, no one is double checking you. Guess what's gonna happen? It's just a matter of time before you fall on your face. So the biggest issue with understanding that assists you then to be bigger on any problem, no matter how big the problem is. And guess what? The more you grow, you get more bigger problems. Guess what? The more the opportunities open up to you, the bigger the opportunities are. Right now, some of you feel the opportunities are not there. The opportunities are there, but they're only available to the people that are enlightened to, or that have an ability to respond to those opportunities. And sometimes we might actually feel envious of other people, or feel, you know what, this person always gets this person gets that. The reason why you don't have the access to these other opportunities that you think you are missing out on, or you are not getting access to, it has nothing to do with there's someone somewhere saying you shouldn't have it. You all are eligible to have these opportunities, but these opportunities are only going to be available when you are ready to assess them, when you are ready to be able to execute them. It's almost like the way life is designed. You are given an ice cream cone. Others, they get given 2 scoops, others 3 scoops, others 5 scoops. But the reason why others are given 2 scoops or 1 scoop or even 5 scoops of ice cream is because they are able to handle 5 scoops of ice cream. So when you feel you are static, when you feel you are not moving, be still. Map up a system on how you're gonna solve each of your problems. Get organized. Get rid of clutter. Clean up your life. Whatever that in your mind comes, I need to fix, you fix immediately. Why you want to do that? You want to gain confidence, self-confidence in your own thoughts and in your own conviction in the things that you feel unsettled with. Why? So that it allows you to settle bigger problems. The running around, guys, as much as entrepreneurs, because we're having too many roles that you are holding, doesn't solve the problem. You gotta need to be still. You're gonna need to be still. And if you can't, because there are instances where you can't, guys, wake up 4 a.m. By 4 o'clock every day, I'm up. 5 o'clock, I'm already, actually, Sis Violet, me and her used to have meetings at 5 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because we want to have our mind pure, want to have our mind thinking clearly, want to make sure that we tackle the big elephant, or we want to tackle the biggest challenge for that day, so that the rest of the day, the rest of the whatever, eat the biggest frog that is hindering that to smooth things, to make sure. And when this goes through, you then begin to build up yourself and you get more confidence, and you start seeing things opening up and things changing with your environment. So, however, you're gonna need to build up that system. So the system around earning more money is really about looking at one thing and then figuring out how can that one thing generate different streams of income. So if I'm right, if I do what Nicholas, for example, is doing, he owns and he hires some, I will go and find more work, but also I will go and find people that I can rent out my equipment to. So that's another multi-stream of income. But I'm gonna just go in and show you another example of what does that mean when we're saying you're having a multi-stream of income. Let me just share this. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. So some of you are still at the stage where you think you've already got a business in mind, right? The idea is there, oh, you already got a business, but that business is really not generating as much income as you would like it. So maybe just think of it in different layers. Is it individuals that you are selling to, which is B2C, business to customers, or is it to organization, which is B2B, that is business to business? And if whichever it is it a product, is it a service, or is it just being an agent? Understand that when you are entering in any of that, it's gonna have its own process and system on how you decide how you would position that product and so on. So now, keeping that in mind, let's take an example of someone who have a skill in baking cakes, right? Someone who bakes cakes. You could actually provide fantasy cakes. Fantasy cakes, guys, is these cakes that are just, oh, the cake is actually like something like 900 Rand or is 3,000 Rand. If it's a wedding cake, it would be like 7,000 Rand. It's like the design, how it is. Or you could sell ready to use cake mix that are frozen. Or you could actually just have a book that you sell that has cake designs that you have designed. You don't even need to make the cakes, you can just design. I have designs where people buy the book where they can see ideas about cakes. Then you could also provide a service. When you're baking cakes, provide a service, maybe cooking classes for baking cakes. You could rent out the kitchen and also the pans that you actually are using for baking cakes. You could do a catering, where you when there is events, then you will then cater for in terms of providing the cakes. And then you could maybe even think about helping people online with recipes, for diet recipes. That is a service, but also you can have a book, diet recipes, on that, which then will fall under the product. And you could be selling for others because you already know who are the suppliers in the cake making business. You could sell equipment. You could even sell ready-made packages. So like what I buy when I buy stuff from Snowflake, sometimes instead of me buying the flour that is plain, I will buy a ready mix, right? So, but maybe you could do those packages where everything is already in as a kitty. You could also sell for others the baking equipment. You can also have sell other people's books in baking. This can be for others, can be even for you. You can actually, because you already know your suppliers, you already have the customer base, you could then build that up. The other thing also that you could do, depending again on what is it that you can do, what is within your control. When it's B2B, you could just design logos for them, for the people that do cakes. Guys, doing logos right now is free. But the people that don't know that to design a logo is free, they will pay somebody to do that. You could actually do diet cakes that have a special diet. Maybe people are diabetic, people that want to do keto, people that want to do what? They call them what? They say dairy-free or gluten-free, all those different types for cafes and restaurants, but also even specialty health shops. You could also do cake decorations for other guys. Instead of you doing the cakes, you just do decorations. But you can also provide services in this cake business. You could do cake delivery for caterers, diet advices for catering, also equipment rental services for businesses. You could also be an agent for guys that do cakes in bulk that are in corporate. You could do a wholesaler for baking. You could be a distributor of training videos in the catering business on baking cakes. So guys, this is just baking cake. Because you have a knowledge and the know-how, there is approximately at least more than 9 ideas. And I think there is more, you can add more ideas. So when you are doing that day, those 3 days when you're brainstorming, that is what you should be trying to actually do, so that you just brainstorm. You don't let your mind to say, how would I do that? You don't do that. You just say, okay, how could I do that? What are the things that I need to do? Okay, avoid really focusing on how will that happen. Just say, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Because what you have to understand, you will not earn money on something that you are not. You will earn money for who you are and what service and value you bring into the market. So it's really not about what the other person can do. It's really about what you can do. It has to be about you. You have to make money. To make money, you're gonna know how you're gonna do that. And guys, I know I've had instances where this client of mine, I think they in one of the NEF groups, and said he actually did a tender and got the work, and he had no clue where to start. And I really got embarrassed, because I think people do not realize when you bite more than you can chew, you actually are biting your own ass. You know, it's just South African market is so small. It's not like America. See, in America, I can move to more than 50 states. Whereas in South Africa, it's such a small country. And when it comes to industry, it's even smaller. You cannot afford to mess up. Whatever that you do, always make sure that you do your absolutely best. And I'm not saying you're not gonna make mistakes. You are gonna make mistakes. But when you have recognized that you have made a mistake, go back to that person and say, I'm sorry, I've done this, and this is how I'm gonna fix it. Will you allow me to fix it? Or should I get someone who's gonna fix it for you? So, because sometimes the relationship can actually get broken and so on. So, but what I want you to understand, being transparent and honest about the areas where you are coming short gains you more trust and more a better relationship than you lying and you thinking you're not going to apologize, or you're going to apologize, but it's just, by the way, it's not sincere, because a person will feel it. Always know that when you are doing something, it has to come from your heart. So I would like you to use this as an idea generation for you on earning the money. But just on one skill, maybe under baking cakes, you can put that the skill you have. And really keep in mind that the skill you have is not limited in commodity. It also can be expanded to services. So let me share, I don't know, maybe I probably have shared this story with you guys. I love sharing this story. There's this lady that I met in Northwest. She was just not that old. I think she was between 50 and 65. She looks amazing for her age. And she was coming in one of my training and saying, Precious, I've done it all. There's no business that I have not done, but all of my businesses have failed. I'm at a point where I really don't even know where to start. If someone were to say, okay, here are the opportunities, how would I actually even start? I don't know, because I have failed so many times. I then asked her, have you done your reflection of, for each business, what is it that I made mistakes on, and how could I avoid those mistakes next time? Because guys, when you are stuck in your life, it has nothing to do with the world. It has to do with you not growing. So then she said, no, I've never done that. I said, you need to do that for you to be able to move on. Life is gonna keep on testing you on the same thing over and over. And to other people in other people's life, it even get transferred to their own children and their grandchildren, until someone within your family, within your generation, put a stop into it. It's similar to what Norman was sharing, that I think it was Norman sharing that a grandfather had so many businesses and so on, but when he died, it died with those businesses died. But Norman has said, I'm gonna put a stop into it. So it's the similar thing. You gotta need to make, it's a choice, but you can't make the choice when you are not aware of what has been happening. And I always make also another example that we know in our township, there are families that, like, they are so poor, they will be so poor. It's like generation after generation. But when you really start looking closely, daughters, all of them, they don't get married, they have children, and their children get children. And I mean, but the poverty, even the boys do the same thing. They don't finish school. I mean, you just see this from one generation to another. They're not conscious. They're unaware that they are the reason why they're experiencing that poverty. Which areas in your life that you are experiencing poverty? And this poverty is not because of the bank account, is poverty of being unconscious aware. You are not aware that actually you're in the position that you are in because you brought yourself into that. But you have a decision to make. Stop or continue the same way. So it's a decision. But a decision has to be made when you become aware. You must be aware. The awareness comes first, and then when you reflect, and when you reflect, guys, I mean, we did some of your analysis when you joined the TUT sent you guys a link and you joined. Most of you, when we analyze the data, you're fooling yourself. You are really, really fooling yourself. We looked at what you gave us versus what we saw on your strategy versus what we're gonna see now transpiring in your financial situation, it doesn't talk to one another. You can't say, I'm quite well adversed in being a disciplined person when you fail to attend session, when you actually not follow through on your own actions, and you don't follow through on things you've committed to. Who the heck is gonna commit to you as a customer or even as a supplier when you yourself are letting yourself down? Anyway, let me move on. I hope this gives you some ideas. I'm gonna go back to our presentation, the other one. So when you have done those ideas, you will really need to come back and I'm gonna open up this, the document that you are working with. By the way, guys, as I said, we will share this document with you and also have a link of it. So yeah. So once you have done that, you now have quite a lot of ideas of how to earn the money. You're then gonna say to yourself, who am I targeting? Who am I targeting? Who's my typical customer? Who's my real customer? And guys, a typical customer, a real customer is someone that buys from you all the time. It's definitely not the person who came once, is person who buys from you all the time. Be mindful, there are products and services that once they have been bought, they will not come back. For example, if someone buys a book from me, they don't need to come and buy another one for themselves. They might come back to buy for other entrepreneurs. I've had those instances. Someone said, I couldn't put your book down, but I then started buying and ordering. When can I have 10 copies? I want to give it to people. So, but that person is a real customer, but not really because of the nature of the product. It's not a product that. However, on the product where it's a once-off buy, how you consume it like a book, you then have to build strategies of how to upsell your offering at a higher price. So our book, people that love our book, we upsell Finance Success. So we provide free training. Everything is free, but then when someone wants the book in a certain form, we give you guys a link. I think Dennis can share the link also, micro link, and also even other places where you can order the book. I think the Macro is running specials, I think, Black Friday specials. Anyway, so you will then buy the book. Okay, you will attend the free sessions and then you will buy the book. But because you have seen the value, and also with our free training and offering, you will then be more open to spend 10,000, 15,000, even 300,000 in us helping you solve the problem. And that is what we call as an upsell. There are offerings or services that I do not offer into the general public. But when I find the right customer that matches the products that I can do, I will then offer and do them. So you have to understand, it's not because it's not because, it's because I've learned over the years of not pitching my 150,000 or 200,000 products and services of the things I can do in your business when I know you can't even commit to a free session, you know. So until some of you, until you graduate, I will then say, okay, let me look for a fund. So this project that we have for the accounting software, it has been in my heart for some years. And then I'm not going to give it to people that have just joined. I'm going to give it to people that have shown that they can commit and they're going to do the part and they are teachable. Why? Because when you don't grow as my client, I also can't charge you. And that is why in other clients, I walk away when I have worked with a client and we've seen the results and now we're moving maybe another level up. And I'm saying, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And maybe the client is not ready yet. I would rather walk away. I would rather not take your money and not do the work. I would rather not. So that's why I want you really, when you get to understand and build up your business and who you want to sell to, you can have different target markets for different products and services. But for a product that is a once-off, you're gonna need to build up how you upsell and downsell that product and services. Now, you also gonna need to understand that when we are dealing with building up that funnel, so the funnel of your business, which is what we call a sales funnel. A sales funnel, guys, is something that starts with an awareness, and then at the end, then it will be the customers that are regulars, but the high-end customers, which will need a high-intensive customer service. So that is also have to be balanced with your time and the value that you bring into that business. So what I'm saying to you is that you might end up coming up with both B2B and B2C as customers, but you might actually have to have a different pricing and a different type of services for each, even if it's the same product. So Finance Success Program it runs with ESD programs. It also runs with individuals, even though I prefer not to take individuals. But when selling this to corporate, it's 150,000, and I don't laugh, 150,000 per entrepreneur. Why? Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna need to review and analyze this business, provide a proper insight, and almost play a role as a CFO in your business. So, but I am not gonna offer that to entrepreneurs that cannot even afford a 300 Rand subscription. So you gotta need to know who's gonna be that customer that I offer this to. Have a profile of that customer. How much am I willing to offer this product or service to this? Why? And why will that matter? And what value I can bring? And how will that make that business or that organization grow? Okay. I think I have another one that I wanted to share. So we started with a clarity on what's the problem that you want to solve when it's coming to earning. You have to understand, start with what you have, like, as I said, baking the cake. And then from that, and then you say, how can I generate money from that? Try to come up with at least between 9 and 15 items on how you're going to earn the money. But then the next step is, okay, who is my customer for each of these? So start really looking at B2C and B2B, but also within that, maybe segment them a little bit further. And then number 4, you then start building up on saying that what would be the pricing model that I need to, or pricing strategy, and why am I choosing that strategy? And how can I actually make sure that customer comes back? And what customer service do I need to provide to that customer for that customer to come back? If it's a product that's a once-off, what would be my strategies to upsell and downsell? So when you upsell or downselling, you really are looking at, maybe you said to your client, what I'm gonna offer is 200,000. The client said, I can't afford that right now. You need to be able to downsell and say, I will give you 150 subject to the following conditions. And then if the client meets that, then you can then, I will make it half, depending on that. And in others, you can also be paid based on results. And I love that. I do that quite a lot with cash flow. Entrepreneurs that are struggling with cash flow, that are having businesses that is above 5 million, I analyze their businesses in terms of cash flow, and then I will then be able to assist them. And then when the cash flow has increased based on our agreement, they then will pay me. Okay, guys, let me move on. I think I'm a little bit too slow today. I will take the questions though in a meanwhile. Let's see. All right. I'm looking at, okay, Denise has shared. Okay. Denise, please share the Facebook, the Essential Finance Handbook also, and also the Twitter account and LinkedIn. Okay, there's no one who has shared anything yet, so I can then move on. Oh, did I miss it? Yes, Lebogang, but she's no longer here. Let me wait until she comes back. Okay, but let me share what she has shared. Say, yesterday I took time watching on how to earn money video. I was interested in many topics, and one topic that taught me something, one of our entrepreneurship who was talking about his own spreadsheet that helped me to course his products, sort of a cash book. I realized in most cases, I focus on cash that I am using to buying stock and profit. I don't focus on my own expenses, which is killing me. And sometimes it even affects my profit. So starting from today, I shall keep my records straight. That was Lebogang. Thank you for that feedback, Lebogang. So you are losing money as you are going through this. Okay, guys. How are you going to prepare for this session? For this component, which is earning the money? You're going to go through module 7 to 10. We have already shared with you the material. And read the material first and then watch the videos. Or whichever you feel comfortable, maybe watch the videos and then read the material. I do prefer though you start reading the material first, even though I know some of you find finance quite boring. So I forgive you for that. It's fine. Okay, and then listen to your audiobook on step 4 and read the framework that we have already shared with you on WhatsApp. Analyze the top 3 products and services, your best sellers, just to make sure that your pricing is right, your costing is right. Okay. So really reflect on how you are, how are you doing in earning money? I made a decision 2 years ago that I am actually I honestly guys, I wanna work 2 days a week. I don't know. It has been, I'm obsessed with this idea. 2 years in, it's only this year the solution is coming. So I did that 30 minutes once a week of saying, I need to figure out how to earn money and working, though only 2 days a week. So I shall tell you one day my strategies and my plan. And those who follow me on social media, on Twitter, I did share some of this. I'm month number 3 now in building that. So yeah, maybe I should write a book on that. Let's see. Okay, so really think about how are you gonna do it with the earning of money? Remember, earning of money is learning first, that comes first, and then earn the money. And also reflect, how are you managing the cash flow and the working capital? Are you someone who ran out of money in month end? And if there's a case, how are you gonna deal with that? What are your highest risks in your business and controls that are in place? What do you think you need to improve? Take some time, reflect on that. This framework is what has been shared with you. I am gonna try to take you through it, but I kind of feel I'm running out of time. What I'm gonna do is, I'm probably gonna need to do a video to move from where I'm at here, because I think I spoke too much. We're not even halfway through, we're almost like 45%. And I think this is too much already in terms of information. I'm gonna need to run a video where I am working through this with you on how the framework works so that you can use it. And I will post that video. I will have to post it before tomorrow, or we can use tomorrow to continue with this because it's supposed to run for 2 days. For 2 days. So maybe Denise, would you please just make time for us tomorrow? We're gonna continue with this, right? Tomorrow we're supposed to be meeting again, right?
Thursday. On Thursday?
Yeah, so on Thursday, let's continue with earning the money, because I really want to take the entrepreneurs through each of these and then also help them to figure out where the gaps are. But also this is going to be quite useful when we have that assessment, and then we'll cover. So these are your learning outcomes. This is already within your modules, so I will not cover that. So, but we are gonna, I think maybe I should stop now. It's already 6. Oh, I really ran out of time today. Okay, talking too much. Oh, Lord. Okay, I miss you guys, that's why. Dombi says, hi, Precious. When I was going through modules, so there were pages that I couldn't understand. They were in another language, not English. It's just the 3 skills that you need. And Dombi, maybe just type those sentences that you didn't understand, or take a picture of it and send it to me on WhatsApp. Then I will be able to assist you. Take a picture of it, then let me read it on my phone, then I can address it. And don't be. Okay, Lulama. Some are written in foreign language. No, guys, no. There is a possibility that maybe the document got corrupted. Please share those with Denise. Then maybe there is a possibility. Okay, so the slides, guys, I had shared this link with you. The slides are all in one place, which is slide share. I'm gonna share the link with you. Give me a second. Yeah, Ntombi, your hand is up, sister. Go ahead.
Hi, Press. No, it was about the slides. They are in, I was going to say that, but is that you did not see my hand. That's why I wrote in the chat box.
Oh, okay, no problem. There shouldn't be any foreign language there. But then if you can maybe just share the picture of it, we will then double check and make sure maybe it got corrupted. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I am sharing where all the slides are of everything that we have done or that I have done, and that link will be shared with you. I have shared this link with you also, guys. Oh, I keep on doing the same thing over and over. Yeah. Okay. Just take a picture of the foreign language thing so that they okay, so let me do this. Let me take some comments and questions on what we covered today, and what coming through in terms of your ideas. Maybe we can finish at 15:15. Is that okay, everyone? Can I take some comments? Naman?
I've looked at that and I've listened carefully to what you've put up here. In terms of making it a workable document, you suggest a person would put it in writing as in a structured way, or so that because today's decision becomes your learning and your new process. And because myself, I believe in activating a plan of a 21-day change of process. So for me, I looked at my life and I shame, ooh, I've just done the wrong things for too long. So
Yeah.
even the work that the slides, I print them out literally. I've created a file, I'm printing them out so that I know when I go through them, it makes sense. They are in sync, they operate in a flow that makes sense to me. So then the one is not taken away from the other because they're interlinked. If you have a financing process, you've got a policy, you know when money comes in, before money is spent, what should go into place. You look and see. I've benefited from not ordering just willy-nilly. I go into my stores and I look and see what I've got and I order what I need. So then I don't have a over-reliance of holding stock, which is money that is dead. So for me, these processes are important. And because I've made so many mistakes over the time, trying to compensate for being a one-man show, I think in overcompensating, you tend to believe all of the wrong information that you've given yourself over time. You see, so for me, the one thing that I would also just want to mention to you, when you do the slides and so on, the dark colors that you use, when I print them in black and white, then I can't see the information. So if you can just help me there. I'm intentionally doing these things because I believe that once I've retained the information and I read through it, it synchronizes my thinking and it opens up what I've definitely not seen before. I'm starting to see.
Okay, so yeah, we do color. Over the years, when I refresh some of the presentation that I've shared with you guys on strategy is not the same as it was 2 years or 3 years ago when I started the product. So the update comes as when we feel we need to improve. So some will not have color, some will. Yes, you do need to have a process in place. What I do need you to focus on is the customer. Let the customer help you mold your products and services in building your business. Do customer surveys more often than the sales. Why? Get the feedback. I used to get a feedback practically in each contact with entrepreneurs. And over the years, we have reduced the number. Why? Because we kind of have a feel now of where are the gaps and where the entrepreneurs need support. I have requested Denise and my board to put a poll at 5:45. It has not gone through yet. I didn't see it. So when you have a grasp of what is the problem, you will not then need to go and ask the customer. But the other thing also that I did in my case, I made sure that the problems that I was solving for my clients were also my problem. So I'm the first customer of my product because I I was myself, as much as I had learned business and I'm a CA, I've been exposed in so many businesses and industries. I just could not figure out what the heck is going on, because what they teach us on those books is not the same as what is happening in the real world, you know? So I struggle with that. I really struggle with that. And that is why I had to design and build ways. So I am saying, Norman, you gotta need to figure out your own processes based on your customers. But in choosing those processes, make it seamless, make it easier for the customer also to give you feedback. Make it easier for the customer to fall in love with your product, to fall in love with what you are offering. Do not just sell nuts, do not just sell biltong, sell the love and the care that you have about that product, and leave it. Leave that love and care. The food that you make is nourishing. The food that you make, some of it is also healthy. It is helping people to deal with quite a lot of things, people that are eating emotionally. So when I have a little bit of nuts, it assists and stuff like that. Have a feel in your target market. Is it health conscious people or unhealth conscious people? And if it's health conscious, that means then you can create kits for keto or something, different diets, diabetic or whatever case it may be. But by getting to the grip of your customers and their needs and their struggles, assist you to then come up with better solutions, with better products. Also, just really also expand your mind in building something that really people will be loyal to you, even if you may. You see, when you have customers that are loyal, even if you make mistakes, they will still follow you because they know you're a human being. Okay, I hope that has helped. Okay, Denise have just put the poll. Please, guys, do that poll. Denise, please post it also on the WhatsApp. Guys, thank you so much. Are there any questions? I'm taking questions on this last 4 minutes. Siyabonga uthule njengamhlanje. Lulama was trying to join and then came out. Tabiso, Golden Mashengu, Kasha, is anything else? Oh, what is his name? There's someone who shared and then left. Oops. What just happened? Okay. There was someone who shared. Oh, it was Nicholas. I don't have any questions. I am very grateful to be part of this. I have learned a lot. Things will be getting better with this teaching. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Nicholas. I think he has already left. Okay, guys, is anyone who would like to ask questions, or maybe, I don't know, anyone? Feedback, anything? No one. Okay, guys. I hope it's not because you are multitasking. We are busy doing other things. You've just logged in. Just the things I've seen with entrepreneurs. There is no such thing called multitasking, guys. Anyway, I love you. I know I will work on this. I'm gonna try to see if I can finish the rest of the video and then send it to you guys, so that you kind of have the whole thing. So thank you so much for today. I am gonna continue with the rest of it so that you can have the rest. But I really want you to know and understand that earning money is easy when you are ready to do whatever it takes and move yourself to being uncomfortable. And I think with us as Black people, we have a tendency of accepting poverty as the way of being. It's like, hey, it's normal. No, guys, it's not normal to be poor. You are meant to be rich. You are rich. You just need to figure out how to assess it. And you get sold poverty by politicians also, eh? you know, and you don't understand. They entrap you in believing that they're gonna provide solutions for you. Not for you, entrepreneurs. The solutions are within you. They are within your imagination. They are within you accepting the challenge of being bigger than the problem. The challenge of saying, bring it on, you know, I'm still standing, so what? And live your truth and walk that truth all the time. And guys, thank you so much. Goodbye for now. I've been holding you guys for some time. I will then continue with the video. You can exit the group or you can stay behind, whichever it is. I am gonna just try to finish the recording, but thank you so much for being here. Bye, Sis Violet, if you want guys to go, but I am gonna continue. I just don't want you guys, for me to take you longer than I should. I will continue and then I will share the recording, and the recording is gonna show everything, so that is for those that might have missed today for whatever reason. What I need you to understand, you have it within you to really build a business that lasts, a business that generation after generation, they will live from your wealth, they will live from your knowledge, but you're gonna be intentional about it and you're gonna put it out there. You are not fly by night. You are here today and you're gonna be here for the next 100 years. Okay, lots of love. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna continue. Those who wanna stay, you can stay. Okay, thank you, Lulama, for sharing the slide. I'm gonna double check. Maybe someone hacked my my account, but my account is linked to LinkedIn, so yeah, I never know. Okay, I will double check. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna continue then. So what we have to make sure we understand, entrepreneurs, is that as we are building up our businesses, the most important thing we gotta need is that when you are stuck or you feel overwhelmed, the best recipe is to reflect. And when you're reflecting, allow yourself, quiet your mind, quiet the noise, the phone, everything, social media, everything. Just get yourself. When you reflect, you bring yourself to an awareness. And that is what we call a consciousness. And that allows you to be able to be truthful and honest, but also don't sugarcoat things. As I said earlier, most of us as Black people, we really sometimes sugarcoat poverty. And someone said, how is everyone and stuff, and how is the bank account? They said something like, no, I'm not broke. I'm just not in the right cash flow. Lord, what? You're broke if you have a cash flow problem. So I'm saying, don't shoot. When you reflect, be brutal honest with yourself. Be brutal honest with yourself in all aspects. And then work on then identifying that. So let's look at how does the framework work. I'm gonna just change back to the revised framework because I kind of see that this one is not the other one. So this was also shared with you on the WhatsApp, but I will also make sure I include it here in this, update this and include it also separately here. Let me just share that one. Okay. So the purpose of the framework was to allow entrepreneurs not to get so overwhelmed by the modules and the content. It's almost like it's creating a framework to guide you on how this is supposed to actually work and assist you to build up. So I'm gonna just open that. And it's supposed to help you as you're building up, almost like you are clear, okay, what do I need to do here? What are the concepts I need to understand? And okay, how do I build up objectives and roles? Because when I have an objective, then I will ask, who's gonna do that? Then also just look back and assess what's happening, and then build a system, and then manage and measure that performance. So you see, on component number 1, you did setting of your financial goals. You set these financial goals, and you then worked on module 2 to say, okay, which partners do I need? What's the structure that I need to have? If you've already got a registered businesses, of course, that's still fine, but you still need to build up strategic partners. So really, when you then move to strategy component, you have focused mainly on the plans on how you're gonna actually reach those goals, how you're gonna do that, and you have designed the one page to allow you to go into organizational capacity, which is learning and growth. And that's the first start of your strategy, because for you to bake the cakes in that example, you gotta need to have a skill to bake cakes. There are instances though that you may not know how to bake a cake, but then you employ someone who knows how to bake a cake. I generally say that is a good thing. However, it's also a bad thing, because should something happen to that person, you have no business. It's always better to do a business that you actually have a skill in, that you understand the ins and outs. When you don't, it's really also going to be difficult for you to build up controls and systems and processes that are going to make sure that that business is sustainable. Okay, so what concept do you have to understand? So when you're talking about value chains, you have to know where you are in the value chain. Are you a manufacturer? Are you a distributor? Are you a retailer? Are you a broker? Because you could be entering into that industry when you don't know who you are in the value chain. The value chain is how the product starts from the beginning until it reaches the customer. When you don't understand who you are, you're also not going to be able to price correct. And most of entrepreneurs, they really get confused as to who they are in the market. So when you don't know who you are in the market, you will also not be able to price correct, because how the product is costed when you're a manufacturer is not the same when you're a broker. There are expenses and costs that only apply to a manufacturer, but there are costs that only apply to a broker or a distributor or a retailer. So understand that concept and figure out in your business, where are you in the value chain? Now, the other part that I really think you need to have an understanding is the role of finance. What is the role of finance function in your business? The role of finance is to report. Why? That is the statutory requirement in terms of Companies Act and all the legislation, income tax, value-added tax, all the legislation. Guys, I've done compliance. It's on the Finance Success TV. That's a first role. But the other role a finance has is to help you make better decisions, for you to be able to capitalize in making more money, more assets, and reducing your expenditures. So you have to understand that, yes, it's about reporting, but it's also about helping you to make the right decisions, and so that you can maximize the return of investment. So some of you look at finance in terms of doing it for SaaS. you know, just for compliance. You are not preparing or looking at finance to help you to be a better businessman or woman, to help you to make more money. And that end up being a cost into the business, by the way. So the concept of goals is really about, on module 1 and module 2, we're focusing on setting the goals, which are your financial goals. But what you have to understand is that the financial goals are just the results. You gotta need to ask yourself, what will it take for me to achieve these financial goals? What will be the skills, the knowledge, the capacity I need to have to be able to run a business of 200 million a year, a listed business, a 500 million, a 200, whatever number it is. That allows you to then be able to build up your strategy based on your balance scorecard, which you look at the capacity. So you focus on the skill, knowledge, and in other instances, maybe understanding the network, get an industry research. It might actually even buying a certain knowledge in terms of research. So another concept that you're gonna need to understand in earning the money is really about knowing the revenue models. The revenue models, when you were talking about different ideas within the baking of cakes, that provides with different revenue streams, but you're still baking the cakes, you're still in the baking of cakes. So the revenue streams can be subscription, once-off, can be annual subscription, but the revenue streams and models that you are building up should suit your operational expenses. It must match direct into your cost structures and strategies. When it does not match, you are going to have a cash flow problem and working capital problem. So that is why it's very important to make sure that your revenue model and the revenue streams is matching up with your cost structures and strategies. They work hand to hand. You are going, when they don't work hand in hand, you are going to have a cash flow problem, but you're also going to have profits problems. Now, some of you think, okay, the stuff that I'm doing in building my business, as I'm building my business, I'm gonna go and find customers that are gonna buy, but you don't have the real customer. The real customer is the person, as I have said before, who buys from you all the time. If they don't buy, it's a once-off product, but it's someone that you can be able to upsell to. Sometimes as entrepreneurs, we spend a lot of time with customers that are not worth our time. You should be very clear. You are allowed to walk away from a customer that does not match your customer profile. Stay away from making decisions because maybe you're too desperate. You see, when you make decisions and you're too desperate, you're also going to end up with a desperate situation. Building up a clear customer profile for each product and service might actually really be the only thing that will make you price the product correct. Because you see, when you look at the customer profile, there's a whole list of things you're going to be looking at. I will share some of those with those who want to know more, but I will try to also make sure that I share the link on how to really categorize. And even when you find that the typical customer, having a way of segmenting it in terms of behavior, demographics, location, or whatever case it may be. Now, in module 7, we really drill down the financial concepts. The purpose of you understanding the financial concept is really about you becoming the businesswoman or a businessman that you are meant to be. I have had entrepreneurs where I will say, raise your hand to those that when it comes to They listen to the news, the whole crap. And then when it's towards the end and they say, oh, the markets today, and then the entrepreneurs switch off and move on to another channel, or then you are not a businessman or a woman if you switch off the markets. Actually, I will say that's the only thing you should be listening to, how the markets. Not all the crap about what politicians, what about Corona, all of that. You shouldn't be listening to that. That's not going to help you in any way. What you should be looking at is listening to the market, find out what is happening in which industry, what innovation is coming, and how that is going to change the world and the way the market looks at things and so on. When you have positioned yourself, I think one of the sessions we had, I asked you guys to have a picture of the best self. I hope that best self means savvy businesswoman, because that is what I have for me. That savvy businesswoman who works less but earn more. You know, that I want for myself, and I want it for you guys. So that savvy businesswoman, it have to operate at a specific level and interact with people at a specific level in terms of the network. So you understanding the financial concept allows you to communicate with the right people when you are ready to accept the new challenges and accept the new opportunities. So, and you gotta need to understand you have to use those in your normal business language. You have to use those, and you have to use them all the time, those concepts, because it's a lingo of business. The more comfortable you are on them and understanding them, the more you're gonna match that image of savvy multimillionaire business that you are running. And I think really also focus on, when you're looking at a customer profile, look at affordability, make sure you cover the buying patterns. So the affordability is so important. I mean, you could have the best product in the world, but if that product does not have, that customer, sorry, does not have money to afford the best product that you're offering, there's no point. There's no point for you to offer that to that person. Buying patterns allows you to be able to see how much money you're gonna have. What's the total return you're gonna make from each customer, but it also allows you the future sales. You can do better forecast when you know the buying pattern. I see that Lebogang is sharing. Lebogang is gone again. She said, I don't know how long it will take. I'm not leaving till you're finished. I'm busy with something and came back. Okay, fine. Tembisa says, customer profile is very important. I failed before in the frequency business, trying to sell to the wrong target market. We all have learned that definitely selling to you lose more money. And then Tembisa said, they couldn't appreciate the value. With the cause, I'm geared to identify the difference. Absolutely. And I'm gonna share with you, Tembisa, some resources that are gonna help you guys, but I'm gonna do that with the guys that are graduating. I'm gonna share something that's gonna just blow your mind. It blew my mind. Oh, you guys, you have no idea what is out there. It's gonna just help you, almost like you just, when I started doing that, my business changed, really changed. And I've shared that with one of you guys, by the way, already. Yeah, maybe I should just share with you guys, but I want to share with those people that will graduate. When you graduate, because this course that we're doing is a foundation. And it's self-led, you're gonna drive it. And then I will review some of the stuff and see. So, yeah, okay. No, you don't hope, Tembis. You say, I'm graduating no matter what, okay? Good. Okay, so key processes. So I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, because we don't understand these concepts, we're also not able to map the key processes in our business. Now, what do I mean when I'm talking about the key processes? So the key processes, for example, would be maybe acquisition of customers, right? Acquisition customers, right? So acquisition of customers. So you probably will have a strategy for that. You will have a process that needs to be followed in acquiring the customer. And then you will have metrics on how you're gonna measure the performance. So, but that process is just one area. What you need to understand that process also has a cost implication. So you're gonna need to have an understanding, what are the key processes in your business? In our business, acquisition of customer, no, not really. The most important key position is partnerships, is partnerships. So our key process is partnerships, and we even have a file that says strategic partnerships, where I use and say, okay, how we identify the partner, what are values we check out, what do we, and what notes and stuff we need to keep track of, and so on. So yeah, so maybe in your business is something else. So figure out what are the most key processes. I think for Norman, because he's in health industry, actually everyone who's in health, where you're producing food, it's really gonna be a production, because if you screw that up, you won't have a business. Okay. Now, when you understand this concept, your revenue models, the cost structure and the strategies and the profile focus on, you then have to say, okay, I now know what are these concepts. Based on this concept, there will almost like actions that are coming through that needs to be pulled through into you to be able to say, these are the things I need to do in my business. Understanding the concept will lead you to, these are the things I need to put in place in my business. But when you are doing that, you then have to be very clear, what is the objective and who has to do that. The objectives help you to map out a very clear line on how this will actually work out, but also how you're going to measure it. And that is why it's also very important for you guys to really take time to go through those KPIs library. And I hope you guys did. Can you give me a feedback and just share with me if you did receive the KPI library, because that was supposed also to be within the strategy. So the KPI library basically tells you if your target, or if your goals is these are the KPIs that you can use to measure that. And it helps you also to see, okay, who in my business will actually be able to do that. When you're doing job descriptions, you can then build that in, because that will be the deliverables. The objective of the scorecards that is covered in the strategy also, and also financial strategy and score and KPIs, that's the same thing. I will cover more in another session if you guys want for me to go more in detail on how to build a finance strategy. Operational scorecard, also aligning it to the role, service level agreements, and also make sure that the objectives fit the strategy and strategies within the areas of the components. So once you have done that, you can then assess, am I providing a competitive advantage in a competitive, not so much as an advantage, but a competitive product. You start with the product, then a price analysis. So what you do, you have this in the module where I say, take a competitor price one, competitor 1, 2, 3. List down the features they have, list down what they are selling, and list them, and then compare that to your product. It's important to do that. As a small business, we don't set the price, the market set the price. So really understand that as much as you can have a unique selling proposition or a unique product, doesn't really matter in most instances. Your customers may not even know what the heck you're selling. They may even compare it with something else. You gotta need to first do a competitive pricing. And then once you've done competitive pricing and you figured out what is missing in the industry, then you then offer what is missing in your industry, what is missing. And then what is missing in your industry, that is what you can price for as higher than what is already in the market. Norman, your hand is up. Remember I said, I'm just gonna run through all of them so that I finish, and then I will take the questions at the end. Maybe write down the question for me, please. Thank you. Okay, so when you're assessing, you're also gonna need to make sure you have the right tools, including accounting software, projections for your profitability, do a proper break-even analysis, do a return on investment on all your fixed assets, including the useful life. Keep the records and the filing system. In the book, I have specified, gave you guys some few ideas on how to build up a filing system. But you're also going to need to assess your money behavior, because sometimes we are our own worst enemy. So, and it's important for us to know how we are contributing to the issues around earning the money. And the other part that I want to add is really the inability, which is what we did when I was talking about baking of cakes and the cash flow. But just keep in mind, if you have solved your revenue and the cost model, your problem and cash flow get reduced. But you still are in trouble because you still need to deal with the items on the balance sheet. So we will cover that in the cash flow modules. Please have a look at that. When you have assessed, you then start building the systems, and you start by saying, I'm going to make sure my charts of accounts talk to my KPIs, my admin budgets, my business development budgets, my CapEx, human resources, and also master budget, which then master budget basically has all of these budgets, different types of budgets. Please note, I have done a video on human resources. I've done a video on CapEx. I will double check just to make sure that the audio is right. The business development one is very detailed. It's already been provided to you, but I will give you a snippet of it. I've got an updated market. Yeah, let me write that down. I've got a marketing budget, the recent one. So that might actually also help. So, but all of these are already in place. The chart of accounts is basically how your books are mapped so that you're able to have the reports that you need in an accounting system. You can have the charts of accounts even in an Excel spreadsheet so that you can know which account to put things, but generally try to avoid doing it manually. Get a software. Save you time and money. Now we go to the last component of the framework. We're now going to need to make sure we are managing and we can measure these things. So the metrics that we spoke about on KPIs, because KPIs, guys, remember, is key performance indicators. They get updated, and also you understand how they feed into one another. You then create some sort of your dashboard to know, okay, in my customers and who are my best sellers in product, who are my best customers, who pays me on time. All of that allows you then to make decisions better. Your top 5 expenses, the cash flow management on a weekly basis, the pattern, the map pattern and seasons, because money does not come all the time. I know from our business, our industry in training, everything starts drying up from November, but lucky enough this year, seems like it's not going to dry out, but generally start drying out, then we'll only start getting busy in somewhere in Feb. So I use therefore the next two months or so just to do the writing. So it's really important that when it's not busy, you create. So it's almost like you're gonna need to look at the full 12 months of the year, know when you are busy, when you're not busy, but you're not gonna know the seasons and patterns when you don't understand the buying patterns of your customers. Growth, number of customers, guys, you gotta need to match that. You gotta need to have a system of building up the system where you know how many customers you need to call daily and what is your conversion rate into those customers. So a conversion rate is basically how many customers do I need to approach before I have a sale? And that's what you need to work out. So that is how you're going to earn money. When you have figured out all these 5 components, your foundation is already set. You will drop products and services that do not make you money. You will start also figuring out you need to sell certain assets that are not making money for you. You will also start prioritizing your budgets, and that is how all of this will help you. I have just brought up just to make sure that you are clear that within the cost structure, there's value driven, there's cost, but all of this is in the notes. I've put in the strategies and modules. So I hope you guys, this is still, yeah. Denise, I think you have shared the one that is not the right version, because I think it said 2018, it should have said 2021. But we'll see. But I think majority of the components are here. I don't think it's the updated one, but it's still the good one. I'll stop here and then go back to the document. A system is Norman is saying, I'm definitely graduating. No, you are graduating. System business says, I've seen in the market share prices in cannabis and expo is totally different from historical in the future. Yeah, I'm not too sure if I do understand, but obviously you're not gonna have a historical data because cannabis was criminal before. So you can't use previous data to determine the industry trends or going forward. But what you can do is to look at countries like US, focusing on California. They've had cannabis being being used for medication and stuff, and being used for entertainment. Look at how the growth actually was, but also learn from that, but keep in mind that how our society, how South African society interact with cannabis. So that's what I will advise you. Okay, let's move on to the framework. So I just need you to know, guys, you cannot offer something which, I don't want to conflict myself on this one. You cannot offer something which there is no customer for. And I know other people will say, if Ford asked people what they wanted, we probably won't have cars. I think Ford could see that people needed cars because they were already using horses. But what you needed to figure out is how to have a horse that you drive yourself, that doesn't get tired, that doesn't die, and so on. So there was already some sort of mobility. So just be careful on new industries. Focus really on what the customer want, what the customer need, and let the customer tell you what they want, and you build that up. Okay, guys. Remember the cost structures and all those things there already. You've already covered that on your business model canvas. Cool. So these are actually all the learning outcomes and objectives that are in your modules. So, and here it's gonna give you a structure of what you need to do and the action. What is it that you really gonna need to change? And this is the hard part, guys. This is the hard part because behavior is difficult to change. Attitudes and beliefs. Oh, guys, those are tough things to actually change and build something that is really worth. It's really worth some value into the market. But these are the things that I really need to maybe, if you can, write them down each day. You put them and read them and think about them as you go in your own ways. So when there's a bad thought, think about those, because it will then also just help you to understand it better when you're repeating it over and over. Money is limitless. Why? Because ideas are. Budget is planning that give peace of mind. It's not a restriction. Most of us look at budget as a restriction. It's not a restriction. It's planning so that you have a peace of mind, so that you know you're always covered. Budgeting does not necessarily say there's scarcity. I think people associate budget with scarcity. So it doesn't. It actually means I know exactly. I know exactly how much I want, but I also know where I'm gonna put it. Budgeting, even when I don't have it, it's a planning for growth and creating an abundance. You see, when you budget and you don't have the money that you're budgeting, you are letting the universe know that you are ready to receive it. Learning finance or being financial literacy is going to help you to achieve your financial freedom. You're not going to have financial freedom without financial literacy. Your control of your business is really much aligned to your control of your money. Sometimes we like controlling things, but we can't actually even manage it. So you gotta really keep in mind. I also usually say to people, you know, we generally wanna control a lot of things around ourselves. But what we have to realize, we're not in control of a lot of things. What we are in control is ourselves. It's our mind and ourselves. You can't also manage something that you don't know or understand. And most people don't understand what money is. They think money is something that you get from someone and you use it and then it goes. That is why most people, they get the money and then it comes out, you know. It's like money comes in, it's gone already. So they don't understand. So when you don't understand something, you can't manage it. When you don't understand how it translates, always remember, always remember, money is energy. Money is an exchange of value. Money is a perceived value by the market, nothing else. You have to know your value to claim what the market should be paying you. When you don't know your own value, then the market will pay peanuts. Budget is about planning for what you expect to happen. Planning for resources does not mean we have to have resources. Always recover all your costs from customers. I know some of you feel bad for your customers. Some of you, I call it, it's not black tax, but it's almost like self-sabotage. We see our customers, we want to do them favors. No, only do people favors as a reward, not because they are your customers. You offer what you offer into the market because you are worth, that is worth what you're offering. By you providing your best product into the market at best value, that's enough. Listen to that book that I gave you, The Science of Getting Rich by Wackles, I think. So I've shared that book. I share that book with everyone I know. Please listen to that book, download it online, read it. Read it until you are rich. Don't listen or read to anything else until you are rich. Just listen and read that book. Of course, and my content. My content is gonna, you see, the metaphysics of money is covered in that book. But there's certain nuggets. I mean, I've read it more than I think more than 10 times. And listened to it more than 30 times. And I still listen to it, even when I'm just, I think I can just sing it or have like line by line on it. Oh, Lord. Okay, so, okay, guys, I'm getting distracted now. Okay, I've already explained this section one by one. This is on the framework. I need you to use this to guide what you are doing and make notes on what are your priorities. So just complete it for yourself just to see what are your priorities and how you can. I've already covered it in more detail. Now, I just want to cover what we have picked up that is going to stop you from having an ability to apply what I have just covered in here. That because you lack industry knowledge, it would be difficult for you to really analyze where is the most money in the value chain of your industry. So you might decide, you know what, I'm gonna be a manufacturer, but because you don't understand your industry enough, you don't know what are the margins of your industry, then you might choose the wrong path, then you make a wrong decision. You see, earning money is not just about sales, it's also about profitability. Two, what we have found also is that entrepreneurs don't have sufficient knowledge on what activities need to be executed across all business functions. And as a result, the budget ends up being misstated. When you do the budget the first time, it's probably going to be wrong. The second time, again, wrong. The third time, wrong. I think it's at least on your fourth attempt, fifth attempt, that it's then going to start making sense. So just don't give up on it. Why? Because it's a learning. So as long as each time you make sure that you reflect, you update, you reflect, you update, you reflect and update, and it's a continuous improvement. In other instances, entrepreneurs feel overwhelmed by the activities they have to conduct, especially when you have a one-man show business. And that is understandable. Then pace yourself, attend the sessions, go through the videos, and pace yourself, but don't give yourself too much lead to a point that you are too comfortable. Get yourself to be uncomfortable that you don't know what's going on, or you are everywhere. Your life is not structured. You are not able to finish what you have promised yourself. Hold yourself accountable. So, and then the other part is we have found that entrepreneurs struggle with the sales projection because they don't have an insight into the customer needs and the demand trends, which then talk to the sales projections. We have tried to work with different service providers to assist with this. Should you need additional support in having more insight into your customer needs and your demand trends, we do have a lady that we work with who is in the marketing research, who does market research. She might be able to have some insight into your industry. She's quite focused on fast-moving goods industries and also business development in professional services and so on. So she might be useful to you guys. We also have several books and material that I said, I will actually provide to you guys when you graduate. I want to, at this point, just have a foundation and an understanding. And then the guys that are gonna graduate, I'm gonna try to raise another funds from somewhere. I will create a budget to tell the universe, I'm ready to take you guys to the next level. And then that group will then be exposed to that content that will help you to really focus on building customer base that really is going to drive your business, but also really having a clear mindset of who's your target. Creating of system, most entrepreneurs struggle with creating of systems and internal controls. While in this program, we're offering you to the systems, some of the systems and processes that you can put in place. We really believe that there's no value in adding more than what you've already have. If you go through the material, you build up your action plans. We also have some sort of checklist that will help you to build up some of these things. Those things will then help you to build some systems. But we're of a view that don't invest heavily on system unless you're building up the automation. So, but yeah, most entrepreneurs, they just don't create systems. Everything is in their heads. God forbid something happens, then everything falls apart. So in compliance, we have provided some ideas on how to build systems, because we are of a view that start with that, then move on to efficiency and effectiveness. Okay, guys, so with all that, work out your action list of what are you going to do, who will actually assist you, and when. I don't want to see your names there, okay? I only just want to see people that are going to help you. Avoid also putting my name there, because I've had entrepreneurs that will put me there. No. Look within your network and see who can assist you to improve on those. You can write as many as you want. I always ask entrepreneurs, write as many as you want, but then later break it down to the next 3 months or the next 12 months. Either or is fine, or you can make the next 12 days, next 30 days, whatever, and make it your 30-day challenge. I actually get a lot of done when I make things 30-day challenge kind of things. So maybe you should consider that. So look at your module plan. Put when are you gonna have the start date and the end date, application date. Application date for you guys is basically you attending the coaching session, and then the webinar date is what we have today. It can also be videos that we have done for you guys. So yeah, that will be it. And then additional actions, schedule up the time for application, time for reading, time for implementing the templates so that you are always on or able to finish the work. And guys, I think I am done. Thank you so much. You guys do not have a one-on-one section with me. So for now, that is out. But for those that, this program also we run for entrepreneurs that are in supply development programs. We do run a one-on-one once they have worked out, and then we build this. And then we also help them to write some procedures that are key so that they can be able to build up controls. Okay, guys, thank you. Let me see if I have any question. Oh, Shalom was saying I've shared the video. I'm running out of data. I'm really enjoying the session. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for staying this long. I'm gonna share the video. I'm gonna process it right now. God bless you. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Precious. Have a great evening. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.